Please imagine the following scenarios. Let's say you're sleeping on your bed, it's a warm, cozy night. But then you hear a noise coming from your door. You open your eyes to see, and you see an alien coming in at you. But before you could panic, everything turns black. You open your eyes again, and you see aliens surrounding you. They start to do experiments on you, start to cut your limbs apart, grow things on your body, put things on your body, and take over your body parts. Do you think you would enjoy the experience? I don't think so, and I think that's what animals think as well when they're being experimented by us. But this is the old way of thinking. If we are going to talk about bioengineering, we have to understand first what it means. So simply put, bioengineering is when we modify genes of animals. So this process can benefit us and the animals themselves in many ways. So the most obvious one is that we can get more animal products, such as meat, milk and egg, and also more nutrition in those products as well. So as you can see here, the salmon in the picture is modified. It can also help with the extinction of the animals. Simply we can try to clone the animals and then we can try to breed them so that they continue to exist. And the last thing that we can try to do is we can try to transfer the genes of animals. Let's say we transfer the good genes of one animal to another so that they all share good genes. But on the other hand, when we try to do things with fragile part of animals like cells and DNA and genes, we can cause mutation if we're not careful. Another thing is that when we try to combine species of animals, so in this case, let's say two species of animals, when we try to combine them, and that's mean creating new species, and when we let them go in the wild and when they breed, the offsprings may affect the ecosystem by causing the imbalance in the ecosystem. And the last thing is that when we do experiments on animals, it may seem unethical for some people because simply it does not follow their ethical guidelines. So some problems, as I have mentioned, mutation could lead to diseases. And so when when the cell is mutated, we cannot know what's going to happen. The best we can do is predict. So if there were to be a disease, when we consume that, it's going to get transferred to humans, and who knows what's going to happen next, right? And the last problem, I think, is people will start to disagree, and therefore they will start to protest. So the solution to the first problem, I think, is easier. So we can try to limit the exposure of the the cell to factors that can cause mutation. So in this case, those factors would be sunlight, radiation, and chemical. But the latter, I think, is harder to solve, and in fact, I think it's impossible to solve, because in order to change their opinions, we have to try to persuade them and make them change their minds. So, as I have mentioned again, when we do things with animals, animal activists may start to question if it is right to do so, and this could spark conflicts between two groups of people, the ones that believe that it is good and the ones who disagree. And this is hard because no matter how much you try to persuade, no matter how much you give evidence, no matter how much you try to use logic and facts, these people would not listen to you, and they will just settle down because these people have their own opinions. So we have many examples of these people, such as people who believe that the earth is flat, people who believe that vaccine is bad, people who believe that the government controls everything and trying to manipulate us. And so this brings us to the end. I think it all comes down to opinions and how one perceives the world. So I cannot say for everybody, but for myself, speaking for myself, I think that bioengineering is fine because in fact we have been doing it for centuries, such as dogs, doing things with dogs, domesticating dogs, and I think that counts as well as part of bioengineering. Maybe not like that related, but you get the idea. And yeah, I think it is fine as long as it doesn't exceed the limits, in this case would be the laws. Yeah, and I think at the end it all comes down to perspective. There is no absolute right or wrong. So people just have to judge from their experience and their perception of the world. So thank you very much.